Are you on the path of personal development or professional development? And you're looking to up-level yourself. You're looking to take things that you're just innately good at, talents you have, skills that you have, and you're wanting to take those gifts and develop them into being superpowers. Or maybe you fall into a bucket where you're like, yeah, I think I know what my gift is or superpower is, but it seems kind of, basic. Whatever that may be. I'm good at listening, or I'm good at, I've got empathy, which those are great gifts that can be developed into amazing superpowers that you could use for people. Oftentimes, though, you struggle to see how you can make a greater impact when you're just like, well, I listen well, but what does that actually mean? And so I like to use an example where I give an example of my wife that I'll give here in a moment, and hopefully it helps resonate with you. But I also have eight individuals that I recently asked the question, what's your superpower and how is the universe paying you back from it? And hopefully, as I read through them, you'll be able to see how it's not just a skill, it's not just a talent. They've taken those things and they've actually made them be superpowers. They've made them be something that they can make a greater impact by going and delivering value to other people and not asking for anything in return. I mean, some amazing examples here. And so we'll dive into those. The example I like to give, though, that just is really easy is when I originally asked my wife, like, what are your gifts? What are your superpowers? And she talked about time management. She talked about organization, and which those are great skills, and those are gifts. I'm terrible at both of those things, which is why my wife and I work together really, really well, because she's great at time management and organization, and I'm not. So when looking at it, though, it was like, but how does that actually play out? How does time management show up? Well, it shows up in day-to-day work, or, how does organization show up in certain places? And it was like, when we actually looked at it, thinking deeper about it, we're like, no, actually, your superpower is helping take someone's idea of an event, of a thing they want to go and create, and helping to see that become a reality in the way that they want it. Particularly around like events, birthdays, parties, whatever the thing may be, she can see the vision long before anybody else and starts to be able to know, okay, well, we need to be doing these things, we need to be ordering those items, we need to be doing this. Oh, if we did this thing here and we could, and I'm just the person that's like, let's go make some big prop or some big, decorative piece that's going to be at it. And she's like, okay, cool, yeah, you focus on that. But while she executes, her gift is helping people's ideas and wants and desires around that sort of an event or whatever it may be become a reality. And she does that using time management and organization and some of her other gifts that she has. So that's just a simple example. I want to go through these 8 that I had people respond to me with the answers, and I want you to see if you could put yourself in their shoes and see if there are maybe those skills, talents, maybe there are gifts that you have that you could develop and evolve or transition into being a bigger thing that allows you to make it be a superpower. I mean, we want to be impact makers in this world. And so the way we do that is by helping up-level ourselves and make these things become superpowers. All right. So I apologize if I'm looking down and around, because I'm going to be reading from very specific notes that they sent me, and I've got them a little bit of everywhere. But like I said, I think that there's a lot of value in seeing how that all plays out. So the first one I have says superpower is helping others see possibilities in themselves that they would not see on their own. And the way that plays out for them is they coach leaders. That's their business. They coach leaders. They've taken their gifts and superpowers and made a business out of it. But in this particular scenario, he talks about that he's actually mentoring a young CEO and helping that young CEO up-level himself into being the leader that he wants to be. Now, you could imagine that a young CEO, maybe people view him a certain way. They think about it a certain way because of his age. Or maybe he himself has some internal struggles around like, man, I'm figuring this out for the first time. And so this individual taking his gift and his superpower of, all right, let me see what's possible in you and help nurture and develop that. Let me take this clay and make a amazing vase out of it or whatever that thing may be. And that's how he uses that. That's how he takes it's so much more than just a talent. He's got this superpower of seeing through people and what they can do. I've done a call with him, absolutely amazing individual, and I vouch for that is his superpower because he is so good at that. So then this next one here is slow to judgment. And I was like, well, interesting. That's a very interesting thought for a superpower, slow to judgment. And what it talks about is he's talking about using gifts like empathy and listening and things like that. And what it allows him to do is it allows him to not jump straight to things where maybe there's a heated exchange. Maybe there's a high emotional value in the thing. Maybe it's that he's entering a situation that seems like havoc. And he's able to be like, hold on, I'm not going to cast judgment here on this situation. And I'm going to look at it from all perspectives. Now, what does that actually mean? How does that actually work? One of the things he talked about is he's got this gift of being able to, doesn't just jump to the answer. He asks a lot of questions so that it helps to uncover all the pieces of the puzzle. And so that's a great superpower. This next one here, she talks about it being around soulful strategy is how she referred to it, which I love that term. Her superpower is soulful strategy. And she's like, look, I help people to step into and, essentially become who they want to be. I help them step past the filters they have that are caused by your default programming, your fears, conditioning, whatever the thing may be. I help you look past those things, and we actually take strategic steps into making whatever your vision, whatever the thing is that you're trying to do, be a reality. And part of that also comes down to, I think she has a gift of being able to see authenticity in people. What is their authentic self? I think that's a great way of putting it. She has a great way of being able to do that. I've got one here now over on this side. Sorry, helping people create courage to take bold leaps, engaging with their storyline and the angle to people's messaging. So two sides to this. I love the first half of it, which is like helping people to create courage to take bold leaps. So talks about that, he's done hundreds of these calls with, zero expectation of them working with him or doing anything. Just the intention of being there to show up and help and give for whatever it is that person needs at that time. And blown away at how frequently those people end up wanting to do more work with him. He helps them see past the thing and see what could be. And so you'll notice there's a trend with a lot of these that it's like, okay, I'm looking deeper. I'm looking past the thing. And it helps people to see that and to upgrade themselves. One of my favorites that I received in this response, because if you don't know this about me, I, outside of being the founder and chief giver at the Giver Method and Impact Makers, I also, run a small business, and so I have these kind of different facets of me. Well, subcategory to all that, I'm a big nerd, and if you can't tell, and I do cosplay at Comic-Con events and things like that. So build armor and such, and so I love the idea of creating something and dressing up in that way. One of my favorites I did was when I dressed up as Buzz Lightyear. And so this individual talks about that his superpower is influencing kids to recognize what their superpowers are or that reside inside of them. And the way he does it is he actually dresses up as Captain America and goes and visits them. And I about broke down in tears when I was reading his whole message as he talks about, his presence, it does this, it ignites, what they're doing. It's encouraging them to look at their strengths and all this. I was like, oh my goodness, this is like, yes, that's a superpower. You are helping children see what they could be and what their superpowers could be. The next one is, my unique gift is helping people experience more nourishing, thriving, intimate relationships. Well, gosh, there's all sorts of skills that could go into that. There could be, He understands how to be aligned with people. He understands listening. He understands empathy. He understands effective communication. All skills, but helping them see how that could be a nourishing relationship. I've got one here that says, my superpower lies in my unique ability to connect deeply with others and inspire positive change. By taking intuition with others, I love that, intuition with them, and finding their talents and looking at the pattern recognition allows me to connect opportunities where they may not see that. And so talks about it allows them to facilitate meaningful transformations for not only themselves, but for other people, which is amazing. And then the last one, she actually sent me a voice message on it, and I just responded with, you answered my question perfectly. What she talked about was, she talked about seeing patterns in individuals and how that plays out in your personal life and your business life. And in business, she talked about, like, it's seeing how your message, how your history, how you can create the frameworks in your business and how they all come together. So she can see the patterns and piece them all together. And she talked about, like, in more of a personal aspect, it's helping them to feel seen and heard in a way that they start to see possibilities of what they could become. And I loved that. And I said, with each of them, I didn't even get to the chance to talk too much about, like, how's the universe paid you back. Hers was amazing. She said, actually, it's interesting. For years, I've thought, man, I give and give and give, and I'm not seeing anything in return. She said, until recently. She's like, I now am seeing it. I am recognizing it more and more every single day, how my relationships are improving. I talk about relationship results or relationship riches that you get from that. How the universe is paying her back more and more because she's put in the work over the years. Now, these may not be your superpowers. You may have other superpowers that are innate to you, which is great. Sometimes a gift is the superpower. Sometimes you take multiple talents, gifts, and skills, put them together, and it becomes your superpower. And these are examples of people that, as they respond to that question, what's your superpower? You know, how do you give it to people? What's the way the universe pays you back on that? That I see a greater good and that impact that they're making that goes beyond just, I'm an effective communicator, I'm great at listening, I'm great at whatever those other things may be. No, take these and combine all of them together and now find the way you're going to go out into the world and you're going to make that greater impact. Hopefully, this has been helpful to you. Hopefully, it helps you see some of those things. As always, if you have questions, feel free to put them into the comments. Feel free to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever other TikToks. You can go to thegivermethod.com, sign up for our newsletter list, and we will walk you through, like, as we send out our newsletters, we're going to walk people through some of these different things and give them opportunities to see how we can help them develop their gifts and superpowers, find the right people to give it to, how to deliver amazing value to people, once again, without asking for anything in return, how to have great engagements with individuals as you work with them so that you see those relationship results, those relationship riches, and you invite the universe to pay you back, because that's what makes you an impact maker. Like I said, if you like this, like the video, share it, subscribe, whatever those things may be, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.